Angelos,
What?
I think it's happening. I think the room might get bigger.
What do you mean? We're here for the past 3 hours. I mean, this is what they gave us.
Not this room. EU enlargement is back on the menu. And yes, I'm looking at you, Iceland.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, I'm gonna have to wait until August 2026. But for now, this is EU enlargement.
Hi, I'm Hannah.
And I'm Angelos, and this is our first ever video!
Yay!
See, we have a whole crew for you.
Let's go! I'm a community manager at the European Commission, and that means I read and reply to comments on social media. So we thought, why not read some right here?
I've got a good one. Well, only poor countries want to join the EU, the rich ones want to leave. All right. Okay, well, this is not a poor versus rich club, you know. Richer countries profit from EU just as much as the poor ones. And we have a huge impact when we decide together on things like trade, climate change, or for example...
The common charger?
Yeah, the common charger, and everyday things, even more important, geopolitical decisions. And last thing, and we must say it, only one country has left the EU so far, only one. You know which one it is?
Speaking of this country...
Okay, we've got a comment about that country.
We get so many.
Okay, cool.
Please help the UK rejoin. We've helped so much in the past. Please recognise this. Thank you. Listen, the UK voted to leave the EU, and that's also democracy. Of course, there are no rules preventing them from applying for EU membership again. And there are still some other ways in which we can work together, like Erasmus+.
But since we wanted your opinion live as well, we had an idea and went outside on the streets and asked you about EU enlargement. Where's the monitor?
The monitor? Right here.
So, do you know which countries are planning and are applying to join the EU?
No.
None at all?
No, I don't have any idea.
I do not.
Can you think of any? Make some guesses.
Many of the Balkan countries.
Ukraine, did they
Ukraine.
apply?
Ukraine is one, correct.
Albania, Montenegro,
Moldova, maybe?
Moldova, correct.
maybe Turkey.
Which country do you think should join the European Union?
Like any European country, not outside of the Europe.
I'm Norwegian, so it's a very loaded question in Norway.
Switzerland,
Oh, nice one.
Liechtenstein.
Canada.
Canada.
I think it would be Australia.
So, what do you think, based on the things that we heard, actually?
I think maybe people don't know as much about EU enlargement as we think they might.
Yeah. So let's wrap this thing up and let's go to the studio.
And we're back. Well, that was interesting. So, how does it work? How does a country actually join the EU? Well, before we get into the steps, there's one really important rule. Any country that wants to apply has to respect the fundamental values that the EU is built on. These include democracy, the rule of law, human rights, and protections for minorities. Without these principles, a country can't join the EU. Once it meets these basic values, it can, first, submit an application for EU membership to the Council. Then, the Commission, that's us, checks if the country can implement the values I mentioned. Next up, accession negotiations. That's kind of like negotiating the terms and conditions of a contract. And when that is done, the EU countries together vote on letting new countries join. And this can take years, but it really pays off. I've got another comment from Montenegro right here. I'm looking forward to seeing Montenegro in the EU. Honestly, me too.
Yeah, and about Montenegro, I have a good one. Montenegro is requested to move step by step, but Ukraine and Moldova have been rewarded with abolition of roaming. They will probably access the EU before or together with Montenegro due to political reasons. Well, okay, wait a second. I mean, the steps are the same for every country. And to be fair, Montenegro is currently the most advanced candidate formally. I mean, Ukraine and Moldova, we support their efforts to join the EU, and especially Ukraine, in the face of an ongoing war. But both of them must go through the exact negotiation chapters.
All in all, there's no fast track lane. On these chapters, by the way, there are 36 of them, and they're in 6 clusters. The chapters are like the specific sub-areas of topics that are negotiated. So each of these clusters consists of multiple chapters. First, the fundamentals, like human rights and democracy. Then you have rights for consumers and workers. Also making stronger economies, sustainability, farming, and relations with the rest of the world.
Yeah, and to be fair, we have another comment that says, wouldn't it be wonderful if we included Canada in the EU? What a global picture that would be. I mean, who's gonna tell him? Okay, I would love to, but according to the treaty, I mean, you have to be a European country to join. But Canada, I mean, don't be afraid. I mean, Canada, even if not a member, participates in many EU programs, for example, for safety, innovation, and so on. So the more partnerships, the better for both, actually.
Great news for the Western Balkans. Look, it's clear. The future of the Western Balkans is in the EU. And to make this happen, we put forward a growth plan, which means essentially €6 billion for investing in things like infrastructure and business development. If you want to stay on top of how your country is doing, we do these enlargement reports, and we publish them around October every year. They show how any country is performing in terms of EU enlargement agenda.
Can the EU throw a country out of the Union? Well, that's an interesting question, actually. To be fair, the EU cannot kick a country out. I mean, the exit mechanism only applies if the country leaves voluntarily. But let's say if something goes very, very wrong in an EU country, for example, it decides to abolish democracy. Then what, actually? Well, first, we can freeze EU money to a country if they do not reform or comply. We can withhold or even take away a portion from the country's EU budget.
And as a last resort, we have Article 7 of the treaty, which, at the last step, allows some EU membership rights to be suspended, including the government's voting council. But that doesn't affect members of the European Parliament, who are directly elected by the people.
Well, that's it. At least for now. I mean, we could discuss this for days, honestly. And do you think that we should do a special episode about Iceland next? Let us know down in the comments.
Yeah, for sure. We hope you liked this video. Tell us in the comments which topic you want us to do next, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. See you in the next one.
Bye!